Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. As you can see today, we are keeping it very casual. I'm just sitting on the floor and I thought we could do kind of a random video. More than anything, I'm kind of hoping that I can dwindle down this pile even by like 2 or 3 foundations. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not because I actually did a pretty thorough declutter, but I thought we would just go through and do a foundation collection video. More than anything, I'm doing this because I'm so sad. I had filmed an eyeshadow palette declutter, went through declutter things for you, and then somehow deleted the clip of where I showed everything that I got rid of. And I've already given all those palettes to friends and family. So there's not even like the satisfaction of seeing the big pile that I got rid of. So I just felt like there was no point in even uploading it. I'm still moss devastated, but that's okay. I figured we could still do foundations. That way it's a foundation collection and kind of mini review of each foundation and fingers crossed, some minimal decluttering. So I just have 3 bins here, which I'm actually very happy with because before this, there was like these bins plus I think 2 more plus an overflow in the drawer. That's just ridiculous. I always tell myself like, oh no, I want to keep additional ones just so I can really go in and compare. And it's like, how often do I really do that? You know what I mean? So in this first bin, we just have all foundations that are kind of in 2 packaging. Right off the bat, I have several of the It Cosmetics CC creams. I have already decluttered and given away all of the matte versions. And then I think just like the full coverage foundation ones. I just wasn't a fan of those. However, the original formula and then the illumination are hands down my favorite. I love the addition of the SPF 50+, but if I could only pick one formula, I would personally go with illumination because I love all things glowy, all things dewy. I know some people say that they can really see a ton of shimmer in the sun. I've worn this for years and I've never noticed that, like actual visible glitter. I just see a subtle glowiness to it. We do have a couple of drugstore options in here. The Revlon Candid Photo Ready Foundation. I had tried I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was the glowy version of this. I had high hopes. It was terrible. There was like no coverage, but whatever coverage and pigmentation there was, it just instantly sunk into my pores. It was disgusting. I got rid of that. You will be seeing that in an upcoming disappointing products video. However, the original formula I really do like. Also the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover. This is the full coverage protective makeup sunscreen. I have mine in the shade at 220 in Natural Beige. I'm pretty sure I did an entire review of this too. To be honest, I haven't worn this in the last couple of months and I don't know why because it is actually really pretty. I may pack this with me whenever I go see my parents. That way it'll be something new in rotation, but I do know that I like it. For some other tinted moisturizers that I know that I love, the Allure Mercier tinted moisturizers, I have the illuminating version as well as just the classic one. The only thing is with the illuminating, I don't know if there's like actual multiple shades in here or not. Mine just says natural radiance, and as you can see in the tube, it is very orange. I use it just to mix in with the classic tinted moisturizer in Bisque. You're not gonna get full coverage by any means, not even really a high medium coverage. I would say a high low coverage, does that make sense? You can build it up obviously with some concealer and whatnot, but if you're just looking for like minimal day-to-day type of makeup, I really do like these. A few months ago, I was using these almost every single day, but I really do like to go through and rotate through my foundations quite a bit, give everybody their love, so those will eventually make it back into the rounds. All right, then I do have 2 from YSL. These are the Touche Eclat All-in-One Glow Foundation. I have mine in BD40 and BD30. BD30 I can wear right now, but BD40 I do think I need a little bit of a tan for. Maybe we can go ahead and do some self-tanner, because I do really like this. I have to say though, I do definitely prefer the It Cosmetics CC cream over these. I find that I get more coverage and just overall a better finish with the It Cosmetics one. So if you have that, and I know every now and then, at least for me, whenever I go into Sephora and I see the more like luxe high-end brands, I'm always like, oh, I wonder what that's like. But if you have the It Cosmetics CC cream, I honestly do prefer that way more than this. I held on to this because I forgot how I felt about it. I applied it the other day and gross. This is the Ciate Extraordinary Foundation. It says Radiant Buildable Coverage Foundation. I don't find anything radiant about this foundation. It has more of that like mousse-like quality to it. I just hate that feeling on my skin. I just think it's gross and it feels heavy and it's greasy. To me, it had more of a satin matte finish. I just did not find it flattering. It's one of those foundations that I just wanted to wipe off and remove immediately. So there we go. The first decluttered foundation. This is the Urban Decay Naked Skin One and Done Hybrid Complexion Perfector. I have mine in medium. To be honest, I had not even really researched much about this product. Laura had given it to me, and it really is more like a tint, not even necessarily like a tinted moisturizer, but almost like a tinted glaze across your face. It doesn't really give any coverage, but it somehow like evens everything out on your skin without, I don't want to say without covering it, but it somehow like blurs away redness and kind of evens out any weird skin like not discrepancies, discoloration, but doesn't actually cover freckles or anything like that. So it's another product that's really nice just to apply if you're like going for a walk and you plan on like walking with a friend, social distancing, and you just want something to kind of not even smooth, but just even things out. This is a good product. It's really nice during the summertime. Then on the complete opposite side of the spectrum coverage wise is the Smashbox Studio Skin Full Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. This is a product that you need like a skosh of, like a doink, a smidge of a skosh. It's so full coverage. I don't really like to wear it on its own. I can, but I just get too much coverage with it. I don't like whenever my face is completely blanked out because then it just looks like too fake and too heavy. But if you go in and mix this with any sort of like illuminating primer or just illuminating cream, it is really pretty. Even with the amount of coverage that you get, it's a product that's not heavy on the skin, which is key for me. I like dewy and I like lightweight. That isn't dewy, it's definitely more of just a natural finish, but the coverage is there, but it's one that you really can customize. Okay, then I just have a standard CC cream. This one is from Iope. I don't use this enough. This is probably another one that I need to declutter. I think I was going to declutter it last time and I was like, no, actually I'm gonna keep it. It's too light for me though, so I just need to give that to a friend. Finally, we have the Wander Beauty Nude Illusion Liquid Foundation. I had decluttered one and then I kept the other, but yeah, this got funky. Like it smells really weird. It kind of separated. So unfortunately that one just needs to be trashed. Okay, moving on to the next kind of a random bin. These are foundations that are like too tall to be standing up in their own to allow me to shut the door, and then just kind of like stick foundations as well as cushion foundations. The cushion foundations, I will be keeping all four. I'm not really gonna go too far into detail with these. I've been promising a cushion foundation review type of video for forever now, and somehow it always gets like pushed down in the calendar. But I had the Moonshot one, Naked Face, Kill Cover by Clio. If you are looking for a great coverage cushion foundation, Clio makes some amazing ones. And then Mamonde, I really like this one because instead of your typical saturated sponge at the bottom, there's this plate that you press down and then the foundation comes through the sponge. It's just not the typical, you know, like sponge that you could go in and flip over, but I really do like this one too. Then I have three. This is what I mean. This is stupid. I only need two, like a regular shade and then a tan shade. I did do an entire review and demo of this foundation too. This is an amazing foundation from the drugstore. It's the JCat Skinsurance Max Coverage Silky Foundation. I loved this foundation. I'll go ahead and link the video here. I have soft tan, cappuccino, and then soft taupe. I think, okay, soft taupe I can keep for sure, but then I'm between soft tan and cappuccino. Okay, so we are gonna get rid of soft tan and somebody else in my life can use it because that is a really nice foundation. And I just got foundation everywhere. I do have a refill of the Kill Cover Glow Cushion from Clio. Then we have a few stick foundations. This was a foundation that I used for I think at least 6 months straight. While I do still really love it, it just hasn't been one that I've been gravitating towards lately, but I do want to, honestly, I do go between all three of these shades. The one that I use the most is 860, but 855 and 854 both work great. I'm almost done with 855, so I do just want to go ahead and keep all three of those. Is that all that I have? Oh no, I do have one other stick foundation. This is from Bare Minerals. It's their Complexion Rescue Hydrating Foundation Stick. Just like the name says, it is very hydrating. This is another one that I really like. To be honest, I think I prefer this one during these like really hot and humid months. Okay, right off the bat, three other products that I know I can declutter. Ooh, this one might need to be thrown away. I've been holding on to these ColourPop No Filter concealers in a couple shades to use as a foundation, and you know how many times I've done that? Once. These have been living in here for way too long, so those can definitely go. I did save one other concealer as a foundation. The Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, one of my absolute holy grail concealers, but this shade works great just for an all-over foundation. Then I have two dropper foundations. This is another one that I am going to declutter. While I do like it, this was one that I think I mixed with the Maybelline Dream Cover, and the combo was beautiful, but I have another dropper formula that I prefer more. This isn't a foundation that I wear on its own. I just don't like the finish on its own. It's a little bit too flat and matte on my skin, but whenever I go in and mix, it's really pretty. I know Laura loves this foundation though, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and set that aside for her. Then I also have the Algenist Reveal Color Correcting Anti-Aging Serum Foundation. This is a nice serum foundation, but I think it's time. Yeah, that smells funky. That is time to be decluttered. I did like that foundation for quite a while, but now my go-to serum foundation is the Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint. Don't let the tint name fool you. That stuff is so, so beautiful. It's quickly become one of my holy grail products. All right, then we do have a couple of drugstore foundations in here. The e.l.f. Flawless Satin Foundation, I did do a video using this. I really do like this, as well as the Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Radiance Foundation. Unfortunately, this one I just bought in a shade that's a little bit too dark. I can only use it when I'm self-tanned, but it is another foundation that I really like. Then we have the NARS Natural Radiance Foundation. This and Sheer Glow will forever and always be, well, I say that, but I'm actually out of Sheer Glow foundation right now, but NARS Natural Radiance is also another great one. I do have several backups of the Natural Radiant Foundation because I just love this stuff. It's super long wearing, the coverage is beautiful, it works for so many different skin types. I've loved that foundation ever since it launched. Then we have the Urban Decay Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation. Weightless is true to the name. I love this foundation on vacation. Something really easy to apply. It wears for a long time and it's just really nice and weightless. Okay, then we do have the Pacifica A Light Clean Foundation. To be honest, I haven't used this in quite a while. I don't really remember my thoughts on it. I know I did do a review on it though, but I can't really remember much about it. I do want to keep it. Maybe it's something that I can use this week and see how I feel. Okay, moving on to the very final bin. These house pretty much some of my all-time favorite foundations. So we have more of the NARS, this one needs to be shaken up a bit. NARS Natural Radiant Foundation, just backups because I adore that foundation. One of my very tippy top favorite foundations, not only from the drugstore, but just altogether, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Foundation. The original formula I did not like. The coverage was nice, but it smelled like paint. It stunk. I couldn't get over the scent. This does not smell, and the glow that you get from it is just perfection. Let's go ahead and go through all of the drugstore foundations. This is my very last bottle of CYO Long Lasting Foundation. I'm so sad. This foundation got discontinued and it is so, so pretty. I've heard several people say that the Soap and Glory foundation is similar. I think that one might be on its way out as well too, because I saw on Instagram that somebody was posting it was on clearance for $1 something at Walgreens. So maybe I'll have to go hunt that down. Yeah, this is my very last bottle. I'm very sad. It is a really nice foundation and it was so affordable. Another beautiful dewy glowy radiant foundation is from Flower Beauty. This is their Light Illusion Foundation. Not only is the formula amazing, the packaging is so luxe, especially for being a drugstore foundation. This is another foundation that I have repurchased. I've gone through an entire bottle before. I have mine in the shade, which I always forget where the name is, Soft Sand M2. I did actually buy the concealer once a long time ago and I ended up returning it because I just did not like it. I felt like it actually made my under eyes look drier and just worse. I was not a fan at all. Another really great one from the drugstore is L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear. So incredibly long wearing, lightweight on the skin, amazing buildable coverage. I think it caters great for normal, dry, and oily skin. It's a product that's very mixer friendly. Some foundations you go in and you try to mix, and whether they're like oil-based or water-based, it just like separates and gets weird. I've used this with oils, with creams. I've never had any issues. It's just overall a really good foundation. Then we have the Maybelline Dream Radiant Liquid Hydrating Foundation. To be honest, this is another one that I haven't used in a while. I'm pretty sure that I liked it, but I don't really remember much about this one or the Dream Coverwear. So both of those will have to be pulled aside. I do think I'm just gonna go ahead and pass on the L'Oreal, no. Actually, no. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the L'Oreal True Match in N3, but I do wanna keep W4. This is another one that I like to mix anytime I use something that just feels a little bit thicker, or just, if I'm just looking for an ideal foundation as a mixer, this one works great. So I do wanna keep this guy. But you know what foundation I've really been wanting to purchase lately is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi. That one is beautiful. If you've ever been curious of what the Giorgio Armani, what is it? luminous silk foundation, right? Looks and feels like it is very similar to the L'Oreal True Match Lumi. I love that one. In fact, I prefer it way more than the True Match one, but I do still want to hold on to this. I guess collab, wouldn't you consider this drugstore? You can get this at Sally Beauty. I haven't used this enough. I know that I like it, but see, this is what I mean. I seem to kind of like rotate with the same like 5 to 8 foundations, and there's just ones that I kind of forget about. I don't remember much about this one. I do remember it being good, but like the overall like wear time and coverage, I don't really remember. This is the Double Lasting Foundation from Etude House. This is such a nice foundation. The only thing that sucks about it is the shade range. Mine is definitely too light, but during the fall and winter months, it works for me. I even have mine the shade Sand, number 5. I think this is the deepest shade. I feel like somebody told me recently that they expanded the shade range in this though. But with most K-beauty brands, the shade range is very, very limited. We have the Bare Minerals Bare Pro Liquid Wear or Performance Wear Liquid Foundation. This is another pretty one, but unfortunately it's too light. I'm gonna go ahead and declutter that one. With that foundation though, I only liked it with one brush. The brush that it came with, it was this Bare Minerals foundation brush that kind of had like a tapered edge. Something about that combination worked great. Whenever I used it with a sponge, it was pretty, but it just never looked as good as it did with the brush. So kind of high maintenance, too light anyway, so I'm just gonna go ahead and declutter it. The Laura Mercier Flawless Lumiere Radiance Perfecting Foundation. This and the NARS foundation are probably the 2 foundations that I use the most consistently. Like when this first came out, I couldn't put it down. This, Wet n Wild, and NARS. Yeah, I would say those 3 are probably the most used, except for now that I've been using Ilia, but yeah, that's another good one. Next up, we have the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Lines Foundation, Anti-Aging, Skin Smoothing, and Invisible Coverage. Unfortunately, the very first time that I tried this, I liked it, and then the more and more that I used it, I didn't like the way that it sat on my skin. It almost felt like it was just sitting on top of my skin. One of those foundations, if you were to go in and like scratch your face, you would have a ton of foundation under your fingernails. Ugh, that's the absolute worst. So this one, it's just time to go for that. I have one other K-beauty two other K-beauty foundations in here. Both of these are so pretty, but just like the Etude House one, they are very limited on the shade range. I think this brand, I always forget how to say it, if it's eSpoir. This one does have a larger shade range, but they're still very light and limited. The Pro Taylor foundation and then the Holika Hardcover Glow foundation. Both of these are very, very pretty though. If you're someone who does like luminous, dewy, buildable medium coverage foundations. Both of those are great. Hourglass Vanish Seamless Finish Liquid Foundation. This was one that took me a while to like. I had tried it several times and I hated it every single time. Then I realized it's one that I prefer with using like my fingers and a brush. It just does not work with a sponge for me. It was really blotchy and it just looked like it was like creasing weird into like the crevices on the sides of my nose. While it is really pretty, it's a foundation that I have to really prep my skin for. I have to go in and like heavily moisturize and really go in with illuminating and hydrating primers. As long as I do those steps, I do like it, but it's not one that I can just slap on my face and go. I know a lot of people with more of like an oily skin type like that, but if you are dry, just know that it does take prep work. Old Faithful Estee Lauder Double Wear. This one just needs to go in an empties video. It's pretty much done. 3W1 Tawny, which that's like my most used shade. I've been holding on to these other ones. I have no idea why, because 1 and 2. Then we have 2N1 and 2N2. Whenever I'm really fair, I can get away with these. So I would still like to hold on to those. There's 3 products that unfortunately just have to be trashed because they're expired. 1 for empties, and then these are all the foundations slash concealers that are going to be going to new homes. And there you have it. There is my foundation collection. Hopefully these somewhat mini reviews helped you guys out a bit. Let me know if you have any foundations that are dewy and glowy that I didn't mention that you absolutely love. Oh, I also have the Danessa Myricks Vision Cover Cream Foundation, but if you've been keeping up with my videos, you already know all about that, as well as the Ilia Super Skin Serum Skin Tint that I mentioned earlier. Those 2 are my current like go-to, so they're sitting over there on my vanity, but those as well, and then there. That's the entirety of my foundation collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know, like I said, if you have any other foundations that you think I would love that I'm missing out on. As always, thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. If you haven't already, I would love if you subscribed. And that's it. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.